What's going on, everybody? It's your host, the Crypto Wonder. Hope you're doing well. Now, one day closer for the next all-time high for Hex, one day closer to the Pulse Chain mainnet launch and PulseX. Yes, I look. I believe it's coming out. I'm just one of those. One of those people. I have, you know, no doubt in my mind. Pulse Chain is going to come out when it comes out. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're not going to get into a diatribe talking about yay or nay, this and that and this. If you don't agree, listen, that's on you. You have a right to your thoughts and your opinions. Now, I'm going to repeat again. And this is for new people who found this video, who will find this video in the future. I know a lot of my viewers right now are currently, informed and participating in the space, specifically with Hex and stuff. And maybe you're doing other things in DeFi. Shout out to y'all. Much respect. But there's one thing I gotta say again, and I'm gonna reiterate it. Like, you really have to take time to learn about everything related to this thing with DeFi, specifically in the Hex ecosystem. You have to take the time to learn and understand at least the basics. For the new people, this is intimidating because there are many steps involved. All the way to the point when you're mining your coins or publishing or whatever you want to call it, you have to go through series of steps just to get to that point. We can't forget, like those of us who are involved and we've been, participating in the community for such a long time, we already know. Like, to us, it's second nature. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. There's layers and levels, right, to all of this, right? But the people who are new, who are coming in, what's the allure? Making money. Well, then you got to put the work in to figure out what is it that you're putting your money into that's going to work for you on your behalf. You have to understand that this is not just about going to a crypto casino and just picking machines, or choosing red or black, or going to a crypto slot machine. You have to understand what you're getting involved with. And there's nothing wrong with learning. There's nothing wrong with even taking your time to learn, because, again, a lot of these things that when we talk about Hex, we're utilizing time, right? This whole thing with delayed gratification is allowing time to mature over an era, right? A period, to where during that time, while you're existing within that time, you're yielding, you're earning, you're receiving, because the contract is working for you. It's something that you turn on your own. It was created for everyone to use the same, right? Anyone anywhere who has access to a computer, again, there are many steps. You're definitely gonna need the internet. You're gonna need a mobile device, a computer device, some shape, form, or fashion. You're gonna understand how to store your crypto. You're gonna have to understand different wallets and how to utilize these things. You're gonna have to understand the differences between centralized exchanges and DEXs. Before you even think about liquidity and all this other extras, inflation and all that, come on. There are layers. There are layers involved. But you know what? For many people, I've learned that's a turn off. If you can't just tell them 1, 2, 3, A, B, and C, that's a turn off. Because, of course, we know you got to go through all the way, down the alphabet, down the steps, just to get to staking. Just to get to mining, publishing, again, whatever you want to call it. But what's so fascinating about this whole thing is, once you pass the preliminary point, Once you're able to say, okay, I have these hex tokens, what am I going to do? And you make the decision to work them, to lock them up, then the journey begins. You can multiply your activities by doing the same thing. You could sit down and not do anything and wait for your stakes to mature, and then you use them however you want. You can end your stake and get penalized for it. You could do whatever. It's all there for you to do. No one's forcing you to do anything. But the key to all of this is knowing and understanding what you have. Right? A year ago, just if you were staking hex, you're earning free coins every day. Not only are you earning yield, free every day, minting your own inflation every day, you're earning free extra coins that are not hex, that are connected, that are tied to hex, that are tied specifically to the T-share rate of hex. You're earning hedron for free. Which now, you don't even only have to, you can do a multitude of different things with hedron. That also has its own value. But you could do a bunch of different things with it. It has its own set of use cases. You could borrow from it. You could stake it. You could sell it. You could exchange it. You could do a bunch of different things. You could hold it. You could just wait till your stake matures to then mint it all. You could dump it. You could do whatever. But thanks to hex. Hex is the focal point. Hex is the origin, right? Shout out to the OA. Now you could stake hex. Now you could stake hedron. Well, it's not really now, because since August you're able to stake hedron with the launch of icosa. When you're staking hedron, you earn icosa, which you could also utilize different ways. You could earn your icosa, let it just sit there. You could take your icosa, you could exchange it for hex to do everything all over again. Staking your hex to earn more hedron, to mint your hedron, to stake your hedron, to earn icosa, to then take that icosa, and if you don't even want to exchange it for hex, you take that icosa and stake the icosa for more icosa and hedron, just from staking one token. And if you were doing this before September 14th 2022, not only are you staking on Ethereum proof of stake, you now have those copies on Ethereum Fair and Ethereum POW, two forked proof of work chains that occurred since the merge happened with Ethereum 2.0. So you went from staking, locking up, publishing, mining, whatever you want to call it, one hex token, or let's say one stake, right? To where it got duplicated 3 times. Not even duplicated, it got triplicated, if that's even a word. You got 3 copies of that. You got 3 sets of miners that are printing hex for you every day. And the same hex that was being printed on that one chain, Ethereum POS, was earning you hedron. And now you have icosa. And you have all 3 of those functionalities happening on 2 extra chains. 2 extra chains that people are afraid to talk about, and I get it, because those chains are, proof of work. There's no real, vibrant community. There's infrastructure that needs to be built. There's no stable coins on those chains yet. There's very little liquidity. We get it, but they're layer 1s. At minimum, you could just practice. It's not financial advice, but I'm saying at minimum, you could utilize those chains and do things that you dreamt that you could do on Ethereum POS, because Ethereum POS is still, the fees are still ridiculous. It's still expensive to use Ethereum proof of stake. You could use those other two chains in practice and do things that you dreamt of been able to do. There's some monetary value there, albeit very, very, like it's a fraction of the value, a lot cheaper to conduct transaction. The gas fees are just, it's like utilizing it's like a step above a testnet, those two chains, but they're not testnet, they're live mainnet. You wanted to create a dream account, right, on ETH POS, maybe you could experiment with those other two. Who knows? Only the future will tell how those other two chains are, like how successful they become, and this is also something to help you prepare, because understand that when Ethereum 2.0 occurred and merged, and those fork chains were launched, or the forks happened, the copies of Ethereum, whatever you had on Ethereum, that's why Hex users has Hex stakes, Hex everything on those two chains. That's why those same users were utilizing Hex the way, also has hedron, also has icosa on two other chains, doing the same thing, and at a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cost. Ethereum Fair, 28 cents last I checked. I don't know what it costs today. I didn't check today at the time of this recording. Ethereum proof of work, $3 and 40 or 50 cents. Ethereum POS, it's like what, $1,700-$1,800? Like big difference. Big difference. But this also prepares you for what's about to happen with Pulse Chain. If you're learning about liquidity and don't understand liquidity and how to use it, how to earn fees, and basically create another stream of income, you could practice on Ethereum Power and Ethereum Fair if you know what you're doing. First, you got to find out, learn, do the research, people. Like, this is what this is all for. This is incredible stuff. It's incredible stuff. Like, you're allowing this smart contract technology to work for you when it's giving you every single day. You're yielding rewards every single day, like clockwork, with no one to oversee, to interrupt, to interfere with its operations. The world does not know really what's going on over here. That's why those of us who do know, we know for a reason. There's no, this is not a mystery in a sense where things don't, for me personally, I don't believe in coincidence. I just don't. You can have a bunch of things going on in crypto. Don't get me wrong, right? I know I don't have a bunch of things going on in crypto because I enjoy what's happening in this ecosystem right here. I really do enjoy it. That's why I've been creating content surrounding it. Hands down, bar none. I really, really enjoy, because I'm learning a lot. The whole thing is interesting to even just go through and listen to the ideas of some of these streamers and people in the community who are much more knowledgeable than me about these things. When they talk about it, and then you go behind the scenes and then you verify on your own time. You do your own research and study how this thing works. At some point, like for me, the light bulb turned on. There was nothing to talk about. There was nothing, no second guessing, no doubt of any kind. That's why I'm unwavered. And that's why I enjoy talking about it. And I speak about it with a certain level of energy, is because I wish other people knew. I really do wish other people knew. And there's some people even in the Hex community that don't really talk or care for, hedron and icosa, and that's their choice. The point of the matter is, whether they like it or not, it's available. It's there. It's something that was added to hex, to complement hex, to propel hex. Once hex goes up, it pulls everything else with it. You're talking about coins that are created in such a way. They're created basically through the T-share functionality. How the T-share functions affects how hedron is created, and especially how icosa is created. And the T-share rate is an element that's unique, because the T-share rate is not necessarily hex, because the T-share rate does not go down. It only goes up. In function, it only goes up over a period of time. The best time, they say, that you were able to lock up your coins according and secure some kind of T-share rate, whatever, was yesterday. Because anytime stakes end, anytime someone decides and say, you know what, their stakes have ended, their mining whatevers have ended, and they want to, take their principal and rewards, that shoots the price of the T-share goes up. Anytime there's an end stake, when from what I'm understanding, when people end stake before their stakes really mature, they suffer penalties, and that affects the T-share rate as well. I heard a streamer say recently that in the beginning days of Hex, it costs maybe less than $1 to acquire 10,000 Hex. Or less than $1. Today is at $800 or so, give or take, for 10,000 Hex. Where 3 years ago was what? Less than $1. You're talking 50-cent range. 50, 60 cents. And that is not only attributed to the price performance, but it's directly connected with the T-share rate. In other words, a T-share that you're able to acquire today, and if you stake it for 15.2 years, that T-share, that rate will not be what it is today. For you to acquire one T-share in 15 years, you will have to have an exorbitant amount more of Hex. I don't know what the rate will be in 15 years. Today, it's hovering around 27K for one T-share, 27,000 Hex for one T-share average. I don't know. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Do your research. I'm just talking. But imagine what the rate is going to be in 15 years. Granted, 3 years ago, it was only, 10,000 for a T-share, 10,000 Hex for a T-share. Now we're hovering around, high 26, 27K in 3 years? So that's 2.5 or so X more? What are we doing? It's code. It's math. This is not about our feelings. This is not about our opinions. This is not about, what we like, what we don't like, if we care about it or not. This is what this thing has done. Another interesting factor is when Hex in 623 days reached 10,000K. 10,000K, 10,000 X gains. There was a streamer who, there's some streamers that are in the community that provide excellent information, educational information and data that when you go and you do the fact finding for yourself, because everything is on chain, you'll be amazed to understand that while the price performance of Hex increased by 10,000 X, 10,000 times higher since January 5th, 2020 to 623 days till the time it reached its all-time high, whatever, 55 cents or whatever, right? From 0.00005 to 55 cents. From 0.0005, 4 zeros and a 5 to 55 cents. 10,000 X gains. The T-share rate went up 15,000 X. in that same time period. It's not a joke, people. This is not about somebody who made it happen. Someone manipulated the T-share rate and this and that, and these people right here, and somebody in the background is doing this, and this collective is doing that, and this and that and this. Sure, you have market makers and people, whales who do what whales do, and all kinds of things that happen, and it's part of the market, all types of market activity. But when we're talking about the functionality of this contract, and how now you have what they call these tokens that are quote unquote derivatives in style. The style is that of a derivative. These tokens that are style derivatives of hex, hedron, icosa specifically. They're tied to the functionality of the T, especially icosa. Like I said, folks, this is a no-brainer. Like, it's a no-brainer. A no-brainer. The higher the rate goes, it's the less icosa yield, or less icosa that's going to be produced. This is a no-brainer, folks. What? I mean, listen. That's just you don't have to listen to me. I'm just a crazy person talking about crypto. I don't know what I'm talking about. In fact, before you go, just like the video. You know what I'm saying? Like the channel, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think or not. However you feel is how you feel. But I'm just giving this information out here because it's something that I'm talking about here that's been working. And I gotta say it again. I didn't believe in hex in the beginning. And that was a very, very costly mistake that I made, not believing in hex. I didn't make that mistake ever again. I'm not making that. No way. There's no. It's not happening. And I'm saying all these things, and I didn't even talk about Pulse Chain yet. This is something that's happening right now while we wait for Pulse Chain mainnet. You can bid. You can utilize the auctions, the HSI auctions. Use Hedron to bid on auctions and possibly get good deals on T-shares using a Hedron. You got to do the research. You got to look at the prices. It has to make sense for you. But this is what's been going on, folks. People who didn't get into hex in the beginning can presumably place themselves in a great position utilizing Hedron and the HSI auctions. So where you bidding on these auctions, you like a certain HSI, a stake, and if it's something that it catches your eye, you bid on it. You may win, and when you win, you got yourself a number of whatever B shares, T shares that you could use however you want to use. You could sell it back to the icosa contract, get icosa for it. You could hold on to it, right? You could possibly, I guess, borrow against a hedron. You could use it however you want. It's an NFT. You could turn it into an NFT. You can do a bunch of different things. And rest assured. See, this is because these contracts just launched. There's a period where the inflation is very high, right? Rest assured, though, while the inflation is high, it's not going to stay high forever. People don't see the value. They didn't see the value in Hedron. Many people didn't see the value in Hedron when it first launched. A lot of people clowned it and called it a permanent dump token. And so they dumped it. They dumped volumes. I mean, like huge numbers of Hedron. They dumped it. They treated it like it was garbage. Well, those same numbers, if the people wanted to buy it, they can't because it's gone. They can't. It's gone. They didn't know what they had until they lost it. And some, frankly, don't care. And that's their right. People have the right to do whatever they want to do. But what I'm telling you is now that with this high inflationary period, it's not going to be this high forever. Imagine. I'm going to tell you like this. 1 billion hedron, right? When you stake, I believe I saw a stream today. Shout out to Access Alive, shout out to Crypto Sloth, and shout out to Crispy. They had a Crispy, man. They had a stream today, and it's amazing how people they bring their own perspective into things to help you understand more of what's really going on. This is astounding, folks. Like so much so that people, it's hard to believe, but math is math. So if you were to have a stake that was about 180 or so, 180 T-shares, and you stake it out for 15 years, 55. At the end of that stake, your hedron would be worth, I guess it would be the amount of hedron you would be able to mint would be around 1 billion hedron in 15 years. This is in 15 years, right? Your stake matures. At the end of your stake, you get 188. You have 188 T-shares, which you'll need more to keep that rate if you end your stake and want to continue. You'll need more hex because the rate keeps going up. This is the whole point and the power of this whole thing. So you have 1 billion hedron equivalent for that time period, equivalent to the 188 T-shares. You may say, that's nothing, because now you could print, you could acquire 1 billion hedron today. Well, yeah. What you're acquiring today has the potential, it's almost like what you have now. If you have a billion hedron now, that's akin to having 188 T-shares in 15 years. You have it now, though. You have it now by holding the hedron. The hedron value may not be the same because it didn't reach the ceiling price. It didn't reach its ceiling price. But you have the coin, you have the token now, which will be very hard to acquire in 15 years. Now that you have it now, this is the whole point about understanding what you have, understanding how this works, and know how scarce it is. But people just take it and say, oh, this is 1 billion, oh, it's garbage, 1 billion of nothing. Okay. It's interesting when you do the hex stakes and you use hedron, HSI, and you see it, it'll tell you 1 T-share will give you what? 5,555,000 hedron. 1 T-share is equivalent to 5 million. For 1 T-share, 55. For 15 years. You stake that for 15 years? No, my math is crazy. I'm sorry. Guys, gals, listen. The amount that you would get of hedron after 15.2 years, the amount of hedron that you can get then is what you could acquire now. And think about how that is equivalent to the T-share, relative T-share amount. That's all I'm saying. Powerful. And once you utilize your hedron to bid into these auctions, they get burned. Those hedrons are done. They're gone. Adding to even more scarcity upon scarcity upon scarcity. But folks just don't get it. And I ain't even talk about Pulse Chain yet. And hedron is it's a horse of a different color, let me tell you. I'm sorry, icosa is a horse of a different color. A whole different system. There's not a lot of people that know about this. It's surprising. A lot of people don't even care. I tell you, folks, and you could thank Hex for all of this. And you could thank the developer who created hedron and icosa, Alex. He's the man, yo. Like, it is what it is. You got to give props where it's due. And like the kids say, give people their flowers, hey, dude, throw a bouquet at that guy. Like, yo, hat tip, I tip my hat. And I ain't even talk about Pulse Chain. So imagine. There's blessings upon blessings upon blessings upon blessings, people. You just got to do a little bit of work. Put the effort in. And you'll win. At least place yourself in a great position so that you could win, so that the odds could fall into your favor. That's what it's all about, people. Listen, I'm going to let y'all go on that note, okay? We'll catch y'all on the next one. Take care.